I've made some progress on our Exorcism of Abuse art project. So here is our canvas, our door with that handle, and I've created some texture on it. I've created the first layer in the process, and it could be a horizontal piece. It could be created as a horizontal piece, but I'm really seeing it as vertical. I like the idea of the up and down, the kind of ascension, like the rising up from the dirt, and I was looking at it, and I saw the illustration of a body, of my body, and in this exorcism, in this process that I'm going through, creating this, yes, I'm healing my mind, I'm healing my emotions, my spirit's getting cleared up, but the body's healing too. We're slipping into another window here. I want to talk about the body and why I've chosen to illustrate that is a very important part of the art piece. When I was about 18, I was off at college, and I decided to take a yoga class. I did not know what yoga was. I just thought it sounded exotic, and I wanted to try it out. So I loved the class. I took to yoga like a fish to water. And but something I observed at that time was that it was very, very difficult for me to relax the left side of my body, especially my left leg. And this went on for years. And it really wasn't until I got into trauma therapy in the last 7 years where I started to realize that my body has been having a response to the gang rape that happened when I was 16, all those years ago. And the body has a memory. And, sometimes I've noticed in the practice of yoga, when you start opening up your body, old memories can pop up, and we're reminded of things, and aches and pains that we have suddenly actually have a meaning. And so even, like when you're young, let's say you're young and an event happens, you get molested, or something happens, and you don't tell anybody, and you hold that in because you're so scared, or maybe the person made you feel scared, told you don't you tell anybody, or or else some scary threat, or just even if you were yelled at, just being yelled at and criticized, put down, there's a response to that. Just imagine being yelled at right now, right? You're going to do that. You're going to jerk. And when you're someone who's had abuse, experienced abuse at whatever level, there's something there. There's a tightness. And I noted for me, at one point, I was getting very ill. And, I kept thinking, I was trying all these cleansing diets, and oh my gosh, I was taking a trillion and trillion and trillion supplements. I mean, just pounding supplements down, and, thinking that this diet and exercise and all these remedies were going to help me get better. And at one point I realized that there really was no way I was going to get any better until I got out of the stressful situation. So in the image, I think it's going to be interesting as this art piece evolves, how the experience of the body, the throat for communicating, the heart, how our abdomens, the protection of the organs, and how that goes, and the strength and flexibility of our limbs. I think it's going to be a very interesting exploration. And so that's that explanation. So anyway, I'm looking at this, and you know, so I'm seeing this as the head, right? At the top, right? The head and the body was down. And you know, I was like, okay, so maybe our decimated mask could be, you know, sprinkled around here. But anyway, I just kept having this vision of windows and like smashed windows, like glass breaking, bursting out, you know, boarded up windows, ripping at the boards, you know, splinters and agony and intensity and, you know, loud sounds and, you know, light bursting in or you know, the darkness, you know, being revealed. And anyway, so I came across this image here. It's a window, and we've got these 3 panels are broken, and we've got shards of glass sticking out here, and you can see the darkness. The darkness is being revealed here. But look here, it's a doorway. So the light can come through. Now this side's still boarded up. So, you know, the work isn't complete. There's still work to be done. You know, we still got some blocks going on here. I love the red frame. The window encasement. When you are coming out of abuse, you are birthing yourself. If you're a woman watching this and you've given birth, or you've seen a birth, or seen a friend give birth, or seen animals give birth, it is primal. There is screaming and growling and crying and blood. It is so raw. It is just raw. And that is what is happening when we are breaking out of abuse. This child, this self is coming out, and it's coming through this small canal, and the canal is stretching and ripping and pulling apart to make room for this life. And this is just a beautiful symbology of that. And I'm really excited about this. So in light of the piece, okay, I'm thinking, because the thing is, I'm putting this up here, you know, where the head is, because where the change really happens, where the window, when the boundary gets broken and smashed through, it happens in here. It's not physical. It happens in here because our thinking has to change. When we're in the cycle of abuse, we're in a pattern, and our thinking follows this certain pattern. And when we break out, we have to change our thinking. We have to transform our thinking and you know, and have new patterns, new drumbeat, you know. And it's a huge challenge. And it's just, you know, one moment at a time, one choice at a time. And that's how it happens. So this is going to be behind the eyes. Okay, this is what's behind the eyes. And I'm thinking maybe the decimated mask will, you know, be glued onto this some way, maybe pieces of it, or maybe some of the words from the cycle of abuse will be bursting out, or I don't know how that's going to go. You know, I thought, oh, maybe the cycle of abuse would be written around here, or, you know, maybe it's breaking apart. We'll see how that, you know, communicates. So this is where we are at now, and I'm going to work on this for a little while, and then I will come back to you. I'm sitting here in my hoodie, just hanging out in my office, you know, reviewing the work of the day, and I realized something. Okay, look at the image. That's what we were looking at. What's that? What's the window built into? What's the structure? It's a stone wall. It's a stone building. God, I realized that's really significant. You know, that breaking through point. I mean, you're surrounded in stone. It's firm, it's hard, it's rock solid. I thought that was important enough to make a little mini video on. So that's it. Window encased in stone wall. Sounds like we've got an earthquake on our hands here.